2, 3, 4. Good morning, my brothers and sisters, on this, our 42nd episode of the Good Morning Guys podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we continue discussing the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and play. Unfortunately, our fearless leader, the Brazilian mountaineer and transition ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher, is not with us this evening. Womp womp. As sickness has befallen him, so he is not feeling too well right now. However,
got some of that U.S. sickness.
Oh yeah. He in coming from Brazil to the old U.S. of A, he got a little sick. But however, Lucas wishes for us to endure, and so we shall. So first off, with me is the judge, jury, and executioner of fake news and spoilers, Patrick Novosel.
I tell you what, that intro was spot on. But man, I miss Lucas already.
You're right. I'm more than willing to take the wheel in his stead, but he's just that much better than me. So, also with me is the volleyballing beast of the East, who can make you laugh in 3 words or less, and we can prove it because we saw him do it live. Ronnie Johantges.
I got to be honest, Mark. I thought you did it better.
Ooh.
And I don't even miss Lucas. I think we should get rid of him.
Ooh, it's a mutiny.
This is our chance when we start funneling money into this thing. We got a 3-way split now. Way better.
Cutting him out of the deal. And of course, I am the man with music in my heart, Doctor Who on my brain, and La Coretta in my stomach. At certain times, of course. Not right now, though. But I am Marc Boucher, your current host for this evening, as I am taking over for Lucas.
The driver of the bus.
Yes. The bus. If this is your first time joining us, I'm sorry, because I'm the one driving. If it's not your first time joining us, then welcome back. We are glad you're here. Let's start the evening off. Let's start this podcast off with a crossover. We're going to do a combination of our What's New News and GMG Community Cornery, as we had a certain meetup that happened within the past week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So, first off, I kind of have to get this out of the way real quick. But Ronnie, I'll let you start off by talking about what went on during the week. But first and foremost, I need to mention the fact that it is now 36 straight weeks of not watching Superman the movie. Am I correct?
You are not correct.
I'm not correct.
Nope. I watched it. It was great, and I'd like to put it behind me now.
All right, let's move on.
Moving along.
All right, gonna file that under Don't Believe You. But
You got a file?
Yep, I have a file.
Did Lucas send you his file?
He did, in fact. He's got a pretty extensive file, and it's called Don't Believe You.
I think my file may exceed your guys' file in that
I
category.
feel like it's one of those file cabinets from Bruce Almighty.
Yes, that may be the better part of the filing cabinet. But yeah, let's touch a little bit upon our little meetup time up in Cincinnati. Yeah, who wants to talk first? Well, I guess Ronnie, since I've called you out, basically.
Yeah, so I got to meet Mark and Lucas for the first time. I met Lucas's wife, his kids. I met Gabe. I met Sheldor, Jonathan, and his dad, Eric. I also met Arctic Warlocks. I met Matt, his 2 kids, and we all hung out at Kings Island, and it was it was really awesome. Those are a bunch of good people, man. They were really fun. I got there a little bit later than everybody else because, well, if you watched any of the card game, you know why I didn't wake up early. The Exploding Kittens game was late, and we had a beverage or two, so I took that time to sleep it off. But no, I got there, and it was really fun. I really like those guys. One of the things we did, kind of the highlight of that, I don't ride a lot of roller coasters. It's not really my thing. A lot of times they make me nauseous, and I probably haven't ridden a roller coaster in, man, it's probably been like 6-7 years. It's maybe longer. I don't remember the last time. But
I remember you said you hadn't been to Kings Island in quite a while.
Yeah,
and that's up in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, it's like living, like people say, like living at the beach. Like it kind of loses its luster when it's like right down the street and you could do it at any time, So it's one of those things where I don't go there that often, but it's not like, I feel like if you don't have kids and you don't really care for roller coasters, it's not really your place, Like there's a lot of fun games and stuff there, but those are the main things, really. There's a lot of stuff for kids, and there's a lot of like crazy roller coasters to go on for those thrill-seeking people that don't get sick, like me. But I did ride one. We rode the Diamondback. First one I've been on in a long time. I actually sat next to Gabe, which was hilarious. So for those of you who don't know awesome. Diamondback, it is a smooth roller coaster. So it does not it doesn't beat you up like some of those roller coasters.
It's not like a rickety. Yeah. It's not like a rickety wooden roller.
Yeah, it doesn't shake you around and stuff like that. It's very smooth. But there are a lot of hills. And I mean a lot of just straight drop hills. Like there's the one main one, which was exciting and awful all at the same time. Because I think after that one, my throat was in my shoes. And then there were just repeatedly more drops after that. I think the part that made me laugh the most was since I was next to Gabe the whole time, he's like, why are there so many of these? And that was a thought in my head. Like, man, there's another hill. This is awful. Why did I do this? But it was really fun. Once I got off, I was okay, but if I had ridden another roller coaster, I would not have been okay. I was in that nauseous state where I was like, yep, I'm gonna get a drink, I'm gonna chill for a little bit. So, but it was fun. It was a good experience. I got to see Pat's daughter choose Lucas over him to ride with. Ooh. That was something.
Yeah, she did. I was like, hey, do you want to ride with me or Lucas? And she thought about it.
She did. It took her a solid 5 minutes.
And then she was like, Lucas. And it was okay because Lucas wanted the front seat, the front row. Yeah. So I moved back and I sat with Arctic instead, which was fine because I had ridden that roller coaster before.
Yeah. I thought you were going to be like, I'm writing you out of the will. And...
Yeah, but it was a good time. It was a good time. We had a little bit of before we got on, there was a little bit of mix-up. We weren't all about to be on the same ride. So I had to do a little improv soapbox session to con a bunch of people behind us to go in front of us, which you don't.
Well, and the people that were behind us, I'm not entirely sure they spoke too much English, and I'm not sure they knew what you were saying.
I'm not sure they knew that I wasn't a predator. Trying to lure them in.
Let's just go ahead of the strange man.
Yeah, normally strange guy, nobody knows, talking vocally loud so everybody can hear them. Not the guy you listen to. Mm-hmm. But I had to do one of those whole all right, do you guys all want to go in front of us? They're probably thinking, what? No, I was like,
why would you?
We just need people to go in front of these 3 lines so we can all go at the same time. But no, we got it figured out. We all went on the same ride. It was a good time. That was the highlight. I think actually the highlight of Kings Island was definitely the arcade. That was fun. I love a classic arcade, man. Some of those games were awesome.
Yeah, and you and Mark played a game for a while.
We tackled Halo for a while. And then Mark and Arctic's son, you guys beat that other game, didn't you? I don't remember what that one was called.
Yeah, so it was Aliens. I believe it was Aliens Armageddon is what it's called. I could be wrong. I know it's an Aliens game. But, yeah, you and I started it.
Yeah.
And then you had to leave. So Arctic's son, Zach, he jumped in, took your place. And, you had loaded, you loaded $60 on your on the card. And
know,
so
it's still kept 40 or $50 by the time I left.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it still has I still have the card. and I'm sure it
Save it for
has
next time.
like $35-$40 left on it. Now, I don't know if those cards expire or not.
I don't know.
I will say that, obviously we went to Kings Island, which is owned by the same company. It's called Cedar Fair. Same company that owns Kings Dominion, which is here in Virginia.
Ooh.
And they have a lot of the same stuff, including those cards. So if it doesn't expire, I think we can still use it at King's Dominion.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
So I think it's
well,
I think it's still good.
I feel like we went to the arcade at first, and I think I put like $20 on a card or something like that, and we burned through it like pretty quickly. I think we were playing the Halo game then, and then like the next time we came back, I was like, I'm just getting 50, and then when you buy 50, it gives you another $10, so it's like $60 in that card.
Right.
And, like, for the people listening, every game costs like 50 cents to like $1.50, for the most part. So every time you like swipe and hit start, it's like $1.50. So like it goes pretty fast normally.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, we beat the Aliens game, which I mean it's kind of rare for anybody to actually take the time and or the money to go through and actually beat an arcade game.
Right.
So I was like, whoa, we actually did it.
Yeah. And me and Mark battled it out in Cruisin' USA for a couple rounds.
Yep.
I think we both had some wins there. That was a good time. I haven't played that game in a really long time, but that was one of like my favorite arcade games, like the original Cruisin' USA. Like, such a classic.
Yeah, I played it on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
I had that.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a great time for sure, and they also had that Batman racing game. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
That. Yeah.
You can choose the Batmobile.
Yeah,
that game eras.
That game was crazy. There was so much going on in that game. Like it was so ridiculous.
Absolutely.
I think that's the picture that we have posted online. We were playing that.
What made me mad was I took too long to pick which Batmobile I wanted, and so it picked for me.
Stuck.
And I got the stupid Batman Forever Batmobile, which granted isn't the worst one, because I think the worst one's the Batman and Robin one with like the exposed opening.
Like the blue lighting and stuff on it?
Yeah. Which was not my favorite, but it's all right. But yeah, so Ronnie, anything else to add?
That was pretty much it for Kings Island. What do you guys have about? You guys want to talk about Kings Island?
So basically, Kings Island. So like I said, it's almost a carbon copy of King's Dominion here in Virginia because it's owned by the same company. So when we showed up, I looked around and a lot of the rides are either the same or have similar names. Like I think the Diamondback, I believe, is actually called the Anaconda here at King's Dominion, but it's the same premise. So I came in, and generally I get motion sickness pretty bad. So generally I don't ride roller coasters. I have in the past, but I've tried not to steer towards those because I tend to get sick. But I was like, I don't want to be a buzzkill. I don't want to be the one guy not getting on rides. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. And it's been a while since I've been on any sort of rides. Maybe I can handle it. So I get on the Scrambler with the guys.
It's like the worst one.
Yeah.
The worst possible ride to get on, I feel like.
Mark and I are sitting in one of the booths, and we're like going back and forth, and I'm like trying to hold myself from like sandwiching him into the corner because of the way we were sitting.
You guys are sitting in one of those little teacups.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that one wasn't actually that bad. It was all right, but it was the combination of that, and then we went on what's called the Flight of Fear, which is an indoor ride, and that thing has like you go from 0 to 60 immediately.
Yeah.
Just starting out, and there's all sorts of loop-de-loops and stuff like that.
That's the one that has like a bunch of like corkscrews and stuff, right?
It does.
Oh man, that's a rough one.
And it was funny because I sat next to Matt, Arctic Warlocks, and he's like, "So you a hands up kind of guy, or are you like keep in place?" I said, "I don't know. I don't really know because I don't really go on roller coasters."
I'm a throwing up kind of guy, so beware.
Well, I was not a hands up kind of guy. I was pretty much I had my arms clenched to the seat in front of me. My body was not having it after that. I was nauseous for days, like beyond beyond even that day we were at Kings Island. Like I remember I was at your house, Patrick, and I was still feeling nauseous from that ride. So that has taught me I just need to steer clear of roller coasters. So, but other than that, like I loved the day at Kings Island. I loved hanging out with everybody. I love that we got to meet Gabe, which if you don't know, Gabe is Gabe Patillo from the Married to the Games podcast. He is is a Christian singer. His name is Toby Mac. He is in Toby Mac's band, and Toby Mac was playing at this Christian music festival at Kings Island. So he had the better part of the day to be able to hang out with us. So that was great to get to see him again and talk with him and spend time with him. But it was great to get to meet everybody. I guess while I'm talking here, we can talk about the live show.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. It was great to be able to do something like that, and for the first 48 minutes, it was incredible. And there were people from the community in the room as we were recording. It was really exciting. We had Sheldor and his dad, like Ronnie said, which it was great to actually get to meet and talk to them, because the last time, Patrick, I know you and I saw them, they were at 300, and I don't think we really talked to them a whole lot.
I talked to Sheldor. He sat like right across from me when we were at breakfast. I think it was the last day. The place where Router goes to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sat across from him. So we chatted for a little bit. So I remember him. His hair was not as long as it is now.
Yeah, he's grown a nice little coif.
Yeah.
If you will. But it was good to get to meet him and his dad, who I had no idea was Lombax's Whisperer. I did not make that connection at all. And I had heard his name before. I was like, "Oh, that's you?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But it was great to meet them, and then of course Eric, Bengalman09, on the Discord, it was also there.
Yeah.
And he lives in generally the same area as you guys, maybe a little bit farther away. But it was great to get to meet him, and for the first 48 minutes, it was exciting. It was great it was still a great night. But then we started having some connection problems with Twitch, and it just kept going down and going down and going down. But we handled it just fine and did the best we could with it. And everybody watching was super, cool about it. And of course, Patrick was able to work his magic and combine it into one audio recording. And then
that was a little tough, but
yeah,
I worked it.
So and then of course we got into Exploding Kittens, which was a trip,
to say the least.
Way to sugarcoat that.
I'll be sure to not teach you guys new games on a live stream ever again.
Well, just don't teach me.
Okay,
on a live stream.
Good point.
After a beverage or a lot of beverages.
Yeah.
But it was still a fun time, and we were all having laughs and stuff. And I think for the most part, you guys, maybe more so on the second game for you, Patrick, but for the most part, you guys were getting it. I don't even know what these cards are.
You played Exploding Kittens?
But no, it was a great time for sure. And then of course, the next after Kings Island, we got to just hang out, Patrick and myself and Sheldor and Eric.
Before that, I want to mention how much fun it was to play video games with everybody before we even did the live show. Like that was a blast. Like playing with
absolutely.
everybody.
Playing some Overcooked.
Yeah, that game
with
was crazy.
Everyone.
That
like
game
even
was
Lucas's
crazy.
parents.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lucas's
yeah.
parents were in. Like his mom's like she's good at video games, man. Like she was tearing it up in that game. Like she knew what she was doing.
I don't think it was the first time she had played Overcooked. But yeah, I have come to believe that 4 people playing Overcooked is not a good idea.
It was. I've never played Overcooked with more than 2 people before, and it was bonkers.
It was crazy. There was one point where I think I was playing. I think maybe Eric. I know Mel was in that game, and I think maybe Sheldor. And this entire time, Lucas. First of all, Lucas was trying to give Mel directions, and he was just yelling directions the whole time. And I'm on the other end of the room, and I'm just listening to the directions, and he thought I was Mel the whole time. I'm pretty sure. I was just following his directions, and he thought she was doing really good. Because I didn't know what I was doing in that game. Like, it took me forever to figure it out.
Yeah, I just thought it was hilarious. Like, every 5 minutes, the whole room was on fire. It's like, put it out the fire! Ah!
Yeah, but that was really fun. And then we ended up playing Beat Saber a little bit, too. That was crazy, man. That was the first time I ever played VR. And it was...
Yeah, same here.
It was... did that make you nauseous, too, Mark?
No, I didn't have a problem with that. The problem I had with it was like, maybe it was just from, the moving around a lot and stuff. But like it fogged up the PSVR helmet so bad when I was playing. And I'm glad I took my glasses off because that would have made it worse.
Yeah, once you start having like a little sweat going on, it causes that condensation on the lens. So like... I should have had because when I usually have VR on, I have a fan on me because that helps me not sweat and not fog up the lenses. I should have had that, but yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah,
it happens all the time.
That game, it was really fun. It did make me like a little bit nauseous. Like when I took the helmet off, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, a little bit. So I assumed like if I tried to like play through that game, like I would actually probably struggle to get through that, especially some of like the expert levels and stuff. I think I played on hard, and it was pretty rough.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, Friday, just hung out. At that point, Mel and the kids they had left to go camping, so Patrick and Sheldor and Eric and myself, we basically hung out. For the better part of the day, played some Apex. Of course, we were able to pull another TV in there, and I had my PS4 with me, so we were basically able to double up on PS4s and just play Apex for a while, which was awesome. I think we actually got a win at your house
right before we left to head over to Ronnie's house to hang out with him. Yeah, we got a win.
Nice. Yep, that was awesome. And then, of course, after that. We went and watched the master at work. Watched Ronnie play some volleyball.
What was your, out of curiosity, so the two of them came over to the house for a little bit just to hang out before volleyball.
Yeah.
What was your impression of the house? It was adult, right? You didn't expect it.
I can't afford this house.
Oh, the house was nice. You walk in and you have that like really open kind of floor plan where the living room and dining room and kitchen. And then, so I walk in and I'm looking around like, man, this is a nice house. And about 12 seconds into me walking in, I notice one thing. I see that Superman DVD just sitting right there. And I was like, how in the heck are you missing this? This is right here.
I know, you did find it pretty
fast. Move it over
fast.
10 feet, put it in your Xbox and watch it.
And it's so nicely placed in this little,
this
little wooden cabinet or whatever.
I see it in
his kitchen. And it was funny because Patrick had to take a picture of it. It's like, there it is.
No, it's always funny because like obviously like you wouldn't think, I guess, like because of the way I act, like I'm mostly just like a big kid, right? But I like to keep my house like nice. Like it's like. I refuse, like, I don't like a dirty house or anything. Like, I'm kind of meticulous about cleaning and stuff. But No, normally my house is like really like kept, really kept together. Like, cause I can't do like the whole clutter thing. I'm a little obsessive about that.
Well,
Sure.
when you were showing us the house, you're giving us a tour. You're like, here's a room, and then you had your clothes in it. And you're like, all right, here's another room, and I was like, hey, there's clothes in there. And you're like, hey, here's my room. I'm like, okay, there's clothes in here. Here's a closet that's a walk-in. Here's some more clothes in here. And then the basement. Oh, we didn't see the basement. I'm assuming there's clothes down there as well.
Yeah, there totally is. Yeah, I have a lot of clothes. I love clothes, and I love shoes, and I love hats. So that's just my thing. Like if I have a bad day, like at work, I feel like if I'm at work, like and I'm frustrated or whatever, like when I get on lunch, like I'm gonna go buy me a new shirt from Amazon or a new hat, make myself feel better. I do it all the time.
And that's all the huge rack of hats you have in your closet. I kind of wanted another hat after I saw that.
Yeah,
I
it's
want
nice.
one.
I like variety. I like to have a lot of options every day.
I don't know, but yeah, after you showed us your office, and your office is awesome. And I want my office to be like that. I don't have an office right now. I probably won't have an office until the kids move out.
Yeah.
Because Clark's room was my office, and I had to give it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of weird seeing Ronnie your office from the other side, like actually being in the room. So after seeing it like in your background
Yeah.
for so long, and then I'm actually in the room, I'm like, oh, well, there we go. And the same thing with Pat's man
It
cave.
was.
I was like, wow, this looks so familiar. But yeah, no, you have a wonderful house, a very clean house.
Thank you.
But yeah, it was great to hang out for a little bit there.
Let you guys.
And then of course, like
Let you guys hear the sound system and everything. Like, you know why my
Oh,
neighbors don't
the
like
sound
me?
system, man. Oh, that's so good.
It's crazy, right?
good stuff. Good stuff indeed. And then we went from there to, like I said, hang out and watch the master at work. Watch him play some volleyball. Dude, I can't believe you play that much volleyball 3 nights in a row. Like, no wonder you're beating the crap out of yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean, so it is a lot, but it's one of those things where, so like the night you guys came Friday night, so I play in 3 different volleyball leagues, and every week there's like 1 game per league normally. So and every game is like an hour. So sometimes it's just 3 solid hours of volleyball in a row, or sometimes they're broken up a little bit. But it's one of those things where after you do it for a little while, it doesn't really feel like it's as much. You know what I mean? Like you kind of get used to the daily, you get used to like the weekly grind, and it's not as bad. But the nagging injuries suck. That happens.
Mm-hmm. And we got to meet your girlfriend, which was awesome.
You did. I haven't mentioned my girlfriend, but yeah, I've been dating her for a couple months now. She's awesome. So she actually came into volleyball, and she had a shirt on, and she always wears like some kind of graphic tee. She's a big nerd, which is awesome, and it works out really well for us. I'm kind of a nerd myself. I think we all pretty much fit along that category there. But I didn't know what her shirt meant this time. And I was like, what is that from? And she's like, oh, it's Doctor Who. And I was like, oh, I got to show this to Mark. I was like, Mark, check her shirt out.
For those out there who actually know anything about Doctor Who, it was a Weeping Angels t-shirt that said "Don't Blink" on it. I'm not going to try to explain that for those who don't know it, but it's a Doctor Who thing, and it was awesome. And I'm glad that your girlfriend likes Doctor Who.
She does, man. She likes Doctor Who. I actually think she's probably watched all of them as well. You guys were talking Doctor Who there for a little while. It was a little confusing, but
It was tuned out.
yeah. She's a big Star Wars fan too, which is really awesome because I've always loved Star Wars.
And yeah, so you guys were talking Doctor Who, and so a little side note, part of my update this week, I watched an episode of Doctor Who.
What?
Yes, I watched the Rosa Parks episode, which is the 3rd episode of the newest season.
Yeah.
That's where I stopped. And holy crap, if this was the first episode of the season, I would have been in the entire time. This was amazing. it was so cool that going back to 1955, it felt like a Back to the Future kind of episode.
Yeah.
Where they have to keep the timeline going, make sure nothing messes up.
Sure, absolutely.
It was really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean,
So...
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you go ahead.
But before I go ahead, no, just kidding.
No.
No! But, yeah, I mean, a lot of Doctor Who episodes are like that, where they are actually involved with historical figures. Like, they had an episode with William Shakespeare. They've had an episode with, I don't know if you know who Agatha Christie is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had an episode with her. Several other.
So do they do that in every single episode, the historical ones? Because the first two didn't.
No, not all of them. Some of them are more historical. Some of them are more like sci-fi, alien type stuff. I mean, all of them technically are, because they involve some sort of an alien that gets involved in history. But not every episode has historical figures in it. There was one with Vincent van Gogh that was really good and really powerful. But I won't spoil that too much. But yeah, not all of them have historical figures, but some of them do, for sure.
All right. Well, I will continue to watch.
Honestly,
I watched 3 episodes in 9 months, so I'm batting 1,000.
Honestly, I feel like you would enjoy.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah. I feel like you would enjoy David Tennant's run. He's the 10th Doctor. I feel like you would really enjoy that. Because he's just a very lighthearted and fun Doctor. I just think you'd really enjoy it. So, but
don't get ahead of yourself here. I've watched 3 episodes. So
yeah,
far, so
I know. I'm being hopeful.
We'll talk again in 2021, and we'll
Sounds great.
talk about that. Yep.
And by then, the new season will be out.
But anyways,
good.
Ronnie,
So you're back on it. You're back on the Doctor Who. All right.
Yep.
Good for you. I watched, when I found out she was a huge Doctor Who fan, I watched a 6-minute video on the entire history of Doctor Who. And they went through.
How is that even possible?
They went through all the doctors, but they actually talked pretty fast. Yeah, that was a good thing. Mm-hmm. But it just gives you a general what is Doctor Who? Here's all the doctors. Kind of a brief. I mean, obviously it was 6 minutes, and there's 8,000 episodes, so they talked really quickly.
Sure.
But also on the nerd front, a couple of nerdy things that I've started. I started listening to the Harry Potter audiobooks.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
So I'm probably about 75% of the way through the Sorcerer's Stone. I've just been working at my desk and listening to them as I work. So I've only seen the first Harry Potter movie. I haven't actually seen the rest of the movies, and I've obviously never listened to any of the audiobooks. And I'm not a reader. I could read for 10 minutes and I don't even know what I read. So audiobooks though, it's great to have on the back, in the background when you're just working through stuff. It's really cool. So I've actually really enjoyed that, and I know they get better from there too. So I'm kind of excited about that. And Mark, I also started playing the Harry Potter game on my phone.
Oh, you started playing the Harry Potter Wizards Unite?
Nice. I did.
Wizards of Waverly Palace.
I did. I'm almost to level 10.
Wow, you're past me.
I've been tearing it up. I have been tearing it up.
Yeah, I've been in and out of it. I'm not sure whether I fully. I mean, it's cool. It's definitely, you can tell it's from the same people that made Pokemon Go.
You definitely can.
It's very much set up the same way. Only in the Harry Potter universe. I'm not sure. It's just there's a lot of time and dedication in terms of you've got to actually go places with this thing.
True.
You can't just sit there and play at home. I mean, you can, but there's only so much you can do at home. You have to actually go, open it while you're going places, when you're out and about. So
for sure. And it to me, somebody who doesn't really know hardly anything about Harry Potter, I like the game was a little bit harder to pick up because I didn't really understand what anything actually was at first. Obviously, like playing through the game a little bit, I've picked it up. It is a really like smooth game. Like I remember when Pokemon Go was like newer, it was anything but smooth. Like it was a kind of a disaster. And obviously Niantic has like not perfected it because obviously everything has its issues, but it's gotten a lot better. And I don't like play extremely often, but like if I'm out, I'll pull it up or something like that, walking around the grocery store, just stuff like that. But yeah, it's been pretty fun. I'm pretty pumped about that actually.
Nice. Great. Trying to think if there's anything else. I think I've pretty much covered everything. I mean, that was the better part of my week. Obviously, had to come back and go back into the regular grind of things. Anybody else want to add anything about the meetup or their week or anything?
I do want to add, so on that night of our live show, it was Wednesday, and Lucas's daughter, Tasha, she spent the night.
Yeah, she
with
did.
My daughter. So what's cool is they are only 2 days apart in how old they are. So it was they hit it off real quick. So yeah, she spent the night. They brought over all her stuff, and then that morning we took them to Kings Island and met up with everyone else. So that was kind of cool. That the first time meeting Lucas's family and his kids, his daughter spent the night. So it's kind of cool how all this works. Like I met Lucas on the internet, and then the first time that he brings his family in, he is okay with his daughter staying the night. So it was pretty cool. My daughter was pumped. Tasha was pumped, obviously. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, your guys' kids are close to the same age too, right? Like
yeah, so
like
my daughter and his daughter are both 9. They're only 2 days apart, and then his son is 6 and a half, something like that, and then my son will be 5 next month. So they're close in age, but not as close, obviously, with the girls.
I feel like your son's kind of a giant then.
Oh yeah, he is off the
They were like
charts,
the same
man.
size.
It's like he as soon as he gets finished with a meal, he like puts his like fork down, he's done, he's like, all right, I want a snack. And then you give him a snack, he's like, all right, I need something else. And you put that down, it's like, all right, I need something else. And he's just like, oh my gosh,
he's
stop
a garbage
eating.
disposal.
He is constantly like moving though, just burning it off.
he's burning
Yeah,
it.
he is.
Like Michael Phelps. Like Michael Phelps eats like 45 pancakes in the morning.
Just needs constant
That's
fuel.
what Clark's like. He needs constant fuel for sure.
Yeah, I remember there were several times where like we were downstairs and we were talking, and all of a sudden we were doom. And he's like jumping off the couch. I'm like, is Bigfoot here? What's going on?
Yeah, because my man cave is right below the living room, and he's just always running around. Like he wears us out. And when he sleeps like a rock. Like he'll be out within 2 minutes, and he'll sleep for 10 straight hours.
Nice. Oh, he's also better than me at Beat Saber for sure. He's way better.
Yeah, he can only play in 10-minute increments, but he's played 10 minutes maybe 4 times a week for the past however long it's been, 6 months it's been out.
Yeah, he was killing it.
So yeah. Yeah, he's good.
It was funny because the helmet looked like gigantic on him.
Right, it's as big as his body.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, so that, and then we didn't touch on the Toby Mac concert. So right after we hung out at Kings Island, Ronnie, you had left,
yep.
And most of the families had left. My family had left, so it was just me, Mark, Arctic and his 2 kids, and then Lucas and his family. So Mark and I, we sat with Arctic and his 2 kids, and Lucas and his family had other seats. So we sat down, and I didn't know Toby Mac's songs. I was like, I don't know if I like Toby Mac. I'm just coming here pretty much to watch Gabe, because he's up there, he's dancing, he's singing and all that. And as the songs are coming on, I turn to Mark and I'm like, hey, I know this song. I like this song. Yeah, I've heard this song like 100 times. I didn't know this was Toby Mac.
Yeah,
like
it
Mark,
happens.
Mark, you're the music man. You know, like the artists, you know the albums, you know the songs. Like me, I hear a song, I'm like, okay, I like this, and then I move on. You know, I don't know who sings it and what the song is. I just know that I like it, and I knew like half of Toby Mac's songs, so that was kind of cool to say. Okay, I actually like Toby Mac, and so it was cool. It was actually pretty cool to see that, and just to see Gabe up there. Gabe gave us VIP lanyards without giving us lanyards, and we got in the line to actually meet and do a photo op with Toby Mac. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I can we can post those pictures in the Discord, so you guys can check that out for sure. But yeah, it was a great time. Toby and the Diver City band, they put on a killer show. And the crazy thing is, like, you know, obviously they've been doing this for years and years, so they know what's going on with that. But this was their first leg of this tour. This was their first show. So Toby was like, it's gonna be a little janky, but I was like, sir, this is not janky. None of this is janky. I don't know what he considers janky, but they did a killer job. Gabe was obviously in his element, going back and forth, being the hype man and background vocals, and then jumping on the trumpet as the horn in the horn section. So they just did a phenomenal job, and it's always fun. I recommend, if you haven't seen Toby Mac and his crew live, go see them because they're awesome. But so, anybody else have anything else to add?
Yeah, I have. I have two things. One really small. Just wanted to mention that I've made it through 7 episodes of Firefly. So
Nice.
Okay.
yeah, still on that. Still really liking that show. I'm not really on a set schedule, but you know, normally when I have like downtime, I'll sit down and watch an episode or something. It is man, I really like that show. So I'm glad I got turned on to that one. And then lastly, I did something this week that I've never done before, and it turned out really cool. So in downtown Cincinnati, they had a Pride Parade and then a Pride Festival. So one of my good buddies is gay, and love him to death, man. He is like the most fun guy ever. And he asked us if we wanted to go to the festival and the parade. I was like, yeah, sure. Like I'll go to whatever. And we went down there, watched some of the parade. We actually ended up walking in the parade for a little bit. When we were walking, one of the main companies, P&G around here, had a lot of employees that were in the parade. And a couple of them that walked by, like we played volleyball with them. And they're like, yeah,
oh, no
yeah.
way.
They're like, yeah, come on out. So like we went and walked in the parade. I was actually on the outside, like, pretty much being myself, kind of working the crowd, giving everybody high fives as we went by. But it was really fun. It was really fun. And then we stayed at the festival for a couple of hours. And it was definitely different. But one thing that was so cool about it is, man, everybody was just supportive of everybody, And, it's like in regular society, you don't necessarily even get that. But everybody down there, man, was supportive of everybody. Everybody was super nice. And it was a really good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But that was the last thing I had there.
All right.
I have a couple other things.
Sure.
So after Mark, you stayed over until Saturday morning, and you had left, and my family had gone camping the night before. So after you had left, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go camping with my family. So I drove a couple hours into Indiana, and so I stayed with my family, and we camped for that night. And it was cool. And there's like the trails at this campsite had like a ton of waterfalls. It had rained a ton the night before, so the waterfalls were moving pretty good. So it was pretty good, pretty cool to see that. But other than that, like the camping, like I don't like camping, but I'll do it for my family. So I had stayed that night, and then we had come home, and after you're done camping, you just feel like gross and greasy, and you're ready for a shower. So start to give Clark his bath, and he has a tick on his back.
Oh.
And this point, we're like, Mel's like, Clark, you have a bug on your back, and he's freaking out, like, because it's on his back and he can't see it, so he doesn't know what to think.
Thinks it's a tarantula.
To freak out, like, what is this bug that's on my back? So we were struggling to get it off because he was flailing about, crying, like, oh my gosh, it was tough. But we finally got it off, and my daughter sees us take it off, and she's like crying because she doesn't want to get a tick on her. We had to check her room, her pillow, her blanket, just making sure there's no tick on there. And then so we put her to bed. Clark's already asleep, and Mel and I go out to the living room to watch a TV show, and I just hear like a faint like breathing, and I'm like, what is that? So I walk over to Claire's room, and she's just sitting up, and she is sobbing. And I go over to her, I'm like, what's the matter, babe? And she's like, I never want to go camping again.
Oh goodness.
So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, let's not go camping ever again. But I didn't want to say that because she loves camping. She was just afraid of ever getting a tick.
Yeah.
And so I told her, like, ticks are always around, which is like, my wife's gone camping for years and years and years, has never had a tick. It's just rare that it happens. It so happens that Clark got it. So I had to calm her down a little bit. So I was like, okay, how about on Monday, we go get some fireworks. And I was, because July 4th is coming up, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna calm her down, bribe her with us going to get some fireworks. And so like Monday night, we go to get some fireworks then. And I don't know how you guys buy fireworks. If you're like looking at the names of fireworks is impossible to figure out what the heck they are.
That's totally true. Nothing to do with anything.
I know, it's like, this is a mad hornet. It's like, what is a mad hornet? Like, is this a fountain? Is this a mortar shell? I'm not sure what it is.
Even a Roman candle.
like,
it's not a candle. It's like a fireball rocket.
Yeah. It's like, I know. It was like mad hornets, Mississippi gamblers, some sun sticks. I'm like, what is this? This is a Viking white. What is a Viking white? I have no idea what these are.
They want you to buy it and find out.
Sound awesome though.
I know. They blow up. That's all I need to know.
Are all of these legal? I don't know.
Yeah. So other than that, yeah, that was it.
Awesome. Well, obviously, it was a great week for us with the meetup and all that, and it went by so fast. But you know what else is fast? That's right. I got it too. I got it.
You've done well, my friend.
Eat your heart out, Lucas.
He's getting replaced, man.
He's still the ninja. He's still the ninja, though. But in any case, I know what else was fast? Fast food, which just so happens to be our topic for the week. Yes, that's right. Our topic for this week is a little bit of discussion about fast food. I know all of us at one point or another have, taken part in different fast food restaurants, whether it be, you've got a hankering for something to eat, you don't want to prepare something, you just want to get something quick, you're traveling on the road, and it's easy and convenient. You want to hang out with your friends, and it's just a good place to hang and eat, for the most part, good food. And so everybody has stories to tell and opinions they have about different fast food restaurants. Starting off, I just want to read a couple from our Discord, some stories that people had about their favorite fast food restaurants and their thoughts about it. First off, Travis Popsicle from our Discord, he said, "Well, fast food was what helped make me gain so much weight. So I kind of liked it a lot." That makes sense. I think it was just easier than cooking. At this point, I really haven't had any real fast food, like Burger King or McDonald's, in a couple of years. But the last time I tried it, all I could taste is grease, and it made me ill. Excuse me. His favorite fast food was Sonic. He did work for fast food when he was a teenager at Burger King and Wendy's. It lasted about a half hour at each before he walked out in disgust. Apparently, he can't take orders well. Yeah, Travis, I definitely hear that. I actually, for a small period of time, actually worked at a McDonald's in high school. It was the local McDonald's in my hometown, and I was there for about 3 months, and I absolutely hated it because it is very fast-paced, and I'm a very calculated person, and when you're having to put together a bunch of orders quickly, like very quickly, that was an absolute nightmare for me, and I would like call out and stuff like that, and I think they were kind of picking up on it. So I never actually technically got fired. They were just kind of not putting me on the schedule as much, and so I quit. So yeah, that was basically my foray into fast food, and that's about the extent that I had with that.
And shout out to Sonic, because we don't have Sonic in our area. You have to drive like 45 minutes to an hour to find a Sonic. And
oh yeah.
Whenever I'm like on a road trip, I want to get some Sonic because they have a smorgasbord of items on their menu. I mean, you can get hot dogs to burgers to breakfast items to burritos. I mean, it is awesome. It's like one of those like old roller skate kind of place where people come up to you and give your order at your window as you're parked. So I enjoy Sonic.
Yeah, and they're not their shakes, but I forget what they're called, but they're like kind of fruity, kind of icy drinks.
Oh yeah, those commercials with those two guys, no, they're the best.
Yep. Absolutely. So Travis, thank you so much for sharing. Next one is from Corey Smith. And so he said, so his favorite fast food has to be Chick-Fil-A, which I can definitely go with that. And you'll hear about it in a little bit. Mainly because the quality of the food is better than McDonald's and Burger King. His favorite food item is the spicy chicken deluxe meal. So good.
Good choice.
He says, I worked at McDonald's for a year after I got married, and while I still eat there every now and then, working the fry station ruined their fries for me. So much grease and oil. And he shares his favorite story is the people that ordered while I was working the drive-thru window. 3 guys ordered something like $35 worth of sandwiches. Holy crap. Which was quite a bit of food. They roll up to the window and the smell hits me. Clearly, they had been smoking some weed. The driver asks, hey man, could you add on like 5 Big Macs to that order? So I do. And before they...
no. We forgot.
So I do. And before they drive off, they say, thanks man, you're awesome. Funniest encounter I had while I worked there. So Corey, thank you so much for sharing that.
Someone's got the munchies.
Yeah, a little bit. So kind of as part of our discussion here of fast food, I talked to you guys about kind of figuring out your top 3 of fast food restaurants. And I think we can do our usual thing of just taking turns one at a time and listing our top 3. So, Patrick.
What if we brought like 35 of top favorites?
Well, I guess you're going to have a lot of honorable mentions. But
I didn't,
isn't that...
But I should have.
That's not a surprise at all. That's like every episode where we have to like make a list of our favorite things. It's always like, yeah, I've got about 47 listed out here. I'm like, okay.
I like to work outside the lines, you know.
You're off the paper, Ronnie.
All right. Yeah, so top 3. So I guess I'll go with my third place first.
Yeah.
Is Steak and Shake.
Nice.
I only get one item on the Steak and Shake menu, and that's the Frisco melt. That's when they use like some sort of sourdough bread, and then they throw like a couple patties in there and throw some sort of Thousand Island dressing on this burger. It is amazing. Have you guys ever had that?
I don't think I've ever had the Frisco. What about you, Ronnie?
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just go ahead and air it out here. Steak and Shake is my least favorite fast food place.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
I was going to wait until we got to that part, but yep, it's happening.
What is it about Steak and Shake that you don't like?
All right, it's everything, first of all.
Oh, okay.
No.
The words that are on the sign.
Stupid
He's
sign.
completely unbiased.
Stupid
He hates
red
everything equally.
The color scheme, all of it.
So every Friday night after volleyball, we always go to volleyball, we play, and then we usually go to Skyline afterwards. That's like a ritual. But every now and then if we're at volleyball too late, Skyline's dining room is only open till I think midnight. So if we don't make it by then really the only other places that are open, the dining room is open, is Steak and Shake. So
Yep.
my friends all like to go, like they want to go over there and eat, and they all like Steak and Shake. I think that it's just gross. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like their patties, like everything about it, like just like I don't even like their fries, those little skinny fries.
Their fries
I think those
are no good.
Gross, man. Like their shake and everything is good, but it's really kind of hard to mess up a shake, to be honest. But no, it's like the greasiest. Like I can't stand it.
Oh,
it's my
man,
least
the
favorite
grease
of
is
all
what
time.
is where the flavor is.
Yeah, but their grease sucks.
Ever.
They use the sucky
Yeah, we
grease.
actually had a Steak and Shake here in town, and they closed down.
Oh, dang it. It must suck.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
It was a combination of, like, I don't think people liked going, and plus the customer service there was terrible. And
I don't think
all that
they
kind of
get
stuff.
much traffic during the day. It's usually like 2 in the morning is when they get the most traffic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because it's the only thing that's open.
The funny thing about Steak and Shake in like the middle of the night though is, man, all the creatures of the night come out.
It's so loud on there.
It's a
night.
crazy place. It's like a weird party in there in the middle
It's
of the
like
night.
the Walmart of fast food.
It totally is the Walmart of fast foods.
It's a Walmart of fast food.
But no, Steak and Shake is my least favorite. Every time we have to go there, I complain the whole time.
So is that part of your top 3? Is that just the bottom, or is that just
No,
like
I
the
just had
worst?
one bad one that I
Okay.
dislike more than the rest, and it's Steak and Shake.
Okay.
I can't believe you like that. Gross.
Gross.
More for me.
I would have never been your friend at the beginning.
All right.
You like Steak and Shake? Unfriended.
So my third top 3 is actually Wendy's.
Nice.
So it's
Good
like
one.
one of the more popular ones, obviously. Like you have your McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. But out of like those, like Wendy's, I feel like is like I feel like it's the best one. So they have like that spicy chicken sandwich at Wendy's. Everybody's had
yes.
that, and that's a great sandwich. I even like their French
funny story about
fries and stuff. Do what?
About the spicy chicken. You were like, when we went over to your house, you were like, hey, I'm going to get some Wendy's.
Yeah,
What do you want? And I was like, spicy chicken.
yeah.
And after we went to see you play volleyball, Sheldor and his dad were like, hey, we're going to go get some food. Do you want any? And I was like, spicy chicken.
It's a good sandwich, man. That is a good
sandwiches
sandwich.
on Friday. It was glorious.
I will say, I really like the Baconator too. It's a big, greasy sandwich, but
Huge.
that sandwich screams America.
Heart attack in hand.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So my number 3 is it's on the lower tier, but I still very much enjoy it, is Burger King. And the reason I like Burger King is obviously, red-blooded American, I enjoy burgers. And this is obviously it's not the best burger joint ever. Of course not. It's quick and easy. And the nice thing is, like, compared to like places like McDonald's and stuff, where they use like those the grills where you have to like lay that door down or whatever, and it kind of compresses it
Like a
to
George
cook
Foreman.
it. Yeah. They actually use, I guess, like a flame broiled grill, which to me just makes the burger taste different. And plus, I've always loved their fries. For some reason, and I've heard lots of people say, "Oh, their fries suck." And I'm like, okay, well, more for me. But I just love the crunchy taste of their fries over like McDonald's. I've always felt like McDonald's, their fries are just kind of loose and sloppy compared to Burger King's. So
this is such a thorough review.
Yeah.
I will say that I agree with you on the burger thing. I think like the flame grilled like burger, that just has more flavor, I feel like.
Yep.
Like It's just a better flavor than like your standard burger. I'm not like a huge fan of their fries, but I mean I also think they're okay. So I'll eat them.
Now,
I respect
that. Ronnie, when you said you hated everything about Steak and Shake, that's the way I feel about Burger King.
Is that why you and Mel are married?
Wow.
If I would have known you liked Burger King, we would have never been friends.
It's not. First of all, it's not on my top 3. So if you want to get on anybody, get on Mark.
Oh, it's like
Bring it.
Their burgers, their fries, their nuggets. I mean, I've tried them. I tried to like it because some of it's cheap. It's like, hey, here's 10 nuggets for $1. It's like, all right, I'm in. And then it's $1. It's 10-cent nuggets. I mean, you get what you pay for. But I've never. It's like you said you guys like the flame broiled of the Burger King. I don't like the flame broiled that the burgers taste like. It's weird.
Isn't that what Mel said also on Facebook? She made the comment that she hates Burger King.
Yes.
Are you guys the same person?
Oh, no way. She would be playing Apex right now for the same person.
It's true. It's true. Oh goodness. Well, I will pray for you.
No, I think out of like we'll say like the big 3, like Wendy's, Burger King, and McDonald's, I think the Whopper is the best sandwich of all of them.
I will agree with that.
Disagree.
Well, that's why you're an individual.
That's why you're not going to be on this podcast next week.
Booted. No, totally valid opinion. Everybody has their likes and dislikes. It's all good.
They're not all valid though.
Oh man, my number one. I can't wait till I get to my number one. You're gonna be like, what? Can't wait.
I'm afraid now.
Yep.
All right. So number 2. I think Patrick, did you go first? Pretty sure you did.
Did I?
I would go.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I did. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
That was only like 5 minutes ago.
It's like Lucas is on the show.
So my number 2, and it is unlike any other fast food chain, and it's Arby's. And I love going to Arby's because it's not your typical fast food place. I mean, it's roast beef. It's not burgers. It's not nuggets. It's not chicken. It is the roast beef. And I like the roast beef sandwiches, but what really makes that roast beef sandwich is that Arby's sauce. That Arby's sauce, like whenever they're like, hey, do you want any sauce? I'm like, yeah, I want some Arby's sauce. And they put like 30 packets in there. I'm like, yes, I'm going to save these. I'm going to put them on everything. I dip my fries in that. Oh man, that Arby's sauce is just delicious. Some people get the horseradish. I don't know who that's for, but
the horsey sauce or whatever.
The horsey sauce, yeah. But yeah, the Arby's. I usually get the half-pound roast beef sandwich, the biggest one that they have. It's just, oh my gosh, my mouth is watering just even thinking about it.
Well, Patrick,
I guess he's going to Arby's.
That's strike 2.
Ooh.
If I had to pick something other than Steak and Shake that I didn't really like, it's Arby's. And you know what?
We're never going to agree on places to go to
And
eat.
honestly, yeah, we choose Skyline every time. But honestly, like Arby's, I understand. Like I will eat a roast beef sandwich. If somebody gets like sandwiches or whatever and brings them, like I'll eat one and I'll be fine with it. And I'm like, it's not a bad sandwich or whatever. But I will never like choose Arby's. Like I don't know what it is. Like it's just like when I'm looking for food, like I don't know what it is about that. Like if I end up going to Arby's, like a lot of times, if I put in an order, I will get. They have like that ham and Swiss. That's a pretty solid sandwich. But I'm just not really into the roast beef.
Yeah, I never seek out Arby's. Like if somebody else was like, yeah, let's go to Arby's, I'm like, okay, well, fine. But it's not something I seek out. However, interesting you mention Arby's because Ash Ingram on the Discord mentions that her favorite fast food is Arby's. She hasn't had one in so long because obviously she lives in Scotland. Hopefully while...
she's in Florida this
Yeah, I was
week.
going to say hopefully while you're in Florida. But yeah, so hopefully she goes to an Arby's while she has been in Florida. So she says, unfortunately there isn't one in Scotland either. Bad times. Here's a fast food story for you. When I worked at Subway, I remember there was a drunk guy that came in and he was extremely rude. He asked for a meatball marinara, and I decided to give him lots and lots of marinara sauce in his sub, and it was a marinara bloodbath. She says it was my subtle way of revenge.
Marinara bloodbath. That's awesome.
They should name the sandwich that. She said it was my subtle way of revenge for him being rude. When he left the store, I saw him sit on the bench outside to eat his sub, and let's just say marinara sauce went everywhere. That's good. Nice. It's good stuff. So thank you so much for sharing, Ash. Ronnie, you're number 2. Go for it.
It is Skyline Chili.
Nice. I was hoping you were going to explain what Skyline is because you mentioned it a couple of times.
Yeah, so Skyline is largely a Cincinnati-based chili chain. Like their main thing is like cheese conies, like 3 ways, which is basically cheese, chili, and noodles. And there's a ton of different variations of that. But I don't know if it's like growing up in Cincinnati or what it is, but that place is one of my absolute favorites. Like I will always go there.
I was so bummed because I was in Ohio, and that's, I've been in Ohio plenty of times before, and everybody's mentioned to me like Skyline Chili. Either that or I think it's Gold Star Chili is another place. Do you guys have that in your area?
Yeah, no one goes to Gold Star.
No one goes to Gold Star? Okay.
Actually, it's up until probably this last year, I liked Gold Star better.
Interesting.
But Gold Star is not open late, so we never end up going there.
That's probably why I've gone to Skyline way more because they're usually open later.
Sure, but I've never gotten to go. Like I've been to Ohio several times, and there was one right by your house, too, Pat. And
there's like 40 of them by my house.
I have one in my house.
That's impressive, and that's very adult, Ronnie.
Richie Rich.
Awesome. My number 2 is... Well, was that everything you wanted to say about Skyline?
Yep.
Okay, cool. My number 2 is actually a little old place called Chick-Fil-A. Man, oh man, Chick-Fil-A. I absolutely love Chick-Fil-A, and Jordan Miller actually posted on our Facebook page, which that's nice. Thank you so much for posting there, because we don't get a whole lot of posts there, so we appreciate it. He mentioned Chick-Fil-A, and he said, "Nuff said." Now, the reason he says "nuff said" is because he and I and a couple other of my friends, we absolutely love Chick-Fil-A, and Chick-Fil-A likes to do these things called the First 100. So anytime Chick-Fil-A opens a new restaurant, they have this big event. They usually open, or at least it used to be, they open on a Wednesday, or it was either Wednesday or Thursday. And so the day before, they basically had, people show up at this location, and if there's less than 100 people, then they just automatically pull 100 people in. If there's more than 100 people, then they do a raffle, and they pick 100 people out of that raffle. And basically, if you get picked, you have to stay on the property, like you have to bring like camping equipment or whatever, to be able to basically stay on the property in the parking lot or whatever, for 24 hours. And after 24 hours, if you are picked and you go through that whole 24-hour thing, and they feed you and all that kind of stuff, which is awesome. If you endure that 24 hours of staying on the property, you essentially win a year's worth of Chick-fil-A. And in this case, it was 52 Chick-fil-A meals. I think that, I'm not sure if it had to be a number one, which is typically the chicken sandwich with fries and a drink. You get basically 52 free meals. And
wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And my friends and I, we did this one, and it's the first time I had ever been, and I was picked. We were all picked, actually.
So you had never had Chick-fil-A up to this point?
No, I had Chick-fil-A before. It wasn't as big in New Hampshire. They do have they had one Chick-fil-A in our area, but it's huge in Virginia. Absolutely huge. Especially where we are, because we're right by Liberty, which is a Christian university, and Chick-fil-A is a Christian organization. So everybody likes to support Chick-fil-A, plus their chicken is amazing.
Magical.
And what's that?
Magical chicken.
Yes, absolutely. So it was the first time I had ever been to a First 100 event. And like people will, it used to be where people would go to multiple First 100 events. There was like an older couple that they would use their RV and travel across the country, basically going to First 100 events.
That's intense, man.
And my buddy, I think he had been to like 10 or 15 of them and had won several times. Now they've changed the rules about it. You basically have to live in the area where the Chick-fil-A is opening. You can't just travel from opening to opening. They've changed all that stuff. But we got picked, and we stayed on the property for 24 hours, camped there, and then at the end, we got this nice little gift card thing, and it had 52 free Chick-fil-A meals, which was absolutely awesome. It's an experience for sure.
That's cool, though. Yeah.
I had been involved in two of them. The second one, we didn't make it past the raffle. Unfortunately, we didn't make it. So, but for my first time ever doing it and being able to win and all that kind of stuff, and Chick-fil-A honestly has some of the best customer service around.
Oh, for sure.
You know, you see people like, there was this one video of this one Chick-fil-A worker literally ran out of the store down the street to catch up with this one customer that had forgotten their food. And so he booked it. He ran to catch them before they left the area to get them their food. They always, really shoot for high positive customer service. And I get there are probably certain restaurants, certain Chick-fil-A's that may not do it as well, but on the whole, their customer service is incredible, and their food is great. So
and let's talk about customer service a little bit for these fast food chains. Now we're on that subject.
Sure.
Chick-fil-A is number one.
Oh,
every
for sure.
time you go into Chick-fil-A, they're always smiling. They're helping you out. They'll run down the street to give you your food, as you say. They are just top notch. And that's one of the reasons why I like going to Chick-fil-A is because of the service you get. It's always a good experience. But then you get into like McDonald's is one of the big ones. People go to McDonald's. You're going to get some better customer service, and then you get into the Wendy's. It's not the best. It's the middle of the road. And then you get down to like Rally's and White Castle and Burger King. It's like they'll take anyone. You have a face, they're going to put you on their staff.
Oh, yeah.
That's another reason why I don't like Burger King. It's because of this customer service. Some of the customer service you get from these fast food places are terrible.
I believe that Chick-fil-A is number one, and it's not even close. There's not even another one in the same realm. Like not even close. But I'm going to tell you what Chick-fil-A does. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, that all the other fast food restaurants definitely do not do. They bend the bills of their caps to make them look presentable. What I mean by this is...
What do you mean?
So when you go into Chick-Fil-A, they're wearing like their little visors or caps or whatever, and the bill is bent nicely like an ordinary hat. And I have gone into other fast food restaurants where it's like they just picked one up out of a pile of hats, didn't even bend the bill of their hat. It's like the most ridiculous looking thing ever. I think that's
an interesting observation
for them to bend their cap bills. Next time you go into a fast food restaurant,
it might be.
Look at the visors. I'm telling you. See, I wear a lot of hats, so I'm kind of a snob. But
have you ever seen that? There's a like a video. It's like a 2.5-minute video about Chick-Fil-A. Everyone has a story. Have you guys ever seen that before?
Nope.
Oh my gosh! So like there's these patrons in Chick-Fil-A, and this camera is just like going around, and there's like different couples, kids, like teenagers, and as they're going around, they focus on a particular person or a couple, and then those words right below them, like, hey, this, there's there's like an old lady. There's words right below it, says something like her husband died of cancer after 45 years of marriage, and she's like sipping her coffee, and then they pan over to like a teenager. Then they say like this boy's parents were divorced and he struggles with something, then they go over to this little girl who's like smiling and happy, she says her mom died at childbirth, and her dad blames her for it. And it was just like all these different stories of all these different people. And it was a Chick-fil-A like video. I think it's a video that they give to employees as their orientation. Basically, like, you don't know what struggles this person you're giving food to or taking an order from. So like you need to be nice to everyone, and that's like that's the kind of feeling you get when you're at Chick-fil-A.
Sure.
So I'll send that video to you. It's amazing.
Yeah, that is good.
It is like if you wanna cry, if you wanna like well up a little bit, this is a serious, pretty cool video.
Oh no, I'll have to add that to the dog rescue videos and the soldier coming home videos, because those get me every time.
Oh gosh, I don't know why I watch those. I watch them every time.
Sometimes you just need a good
and
cry.
Then like, yeah, and after you watch one, then like another video pops up, and then you watch that one, and then the other one.
Oh yeah, you get into the wormhole
down
just
that rabbit
tears.
hole. Oh gosh.
Lastly, I will mention that my number one is Chick-fil-A.
Boom!
By a lot.
There you go.
But I think we've really covered that now. So
yeah, that's interesting because I say all that and it was my number 2 pick.
Yeah, and I don't think it's even Patrick's number 1.
It's an honorable mention.
There you go. Okay. Yeah.
You picked Steak and Shake over Chick-fil-A? Are you serious?
Oh man. Yep.
I'll pray for you.
See. So like when I go to Chick-fil-A, you get the chicken sandwich. But the chicken sandwich that I really, really like is the spicy chicken from Wendy's. If I'm gonna get a chicken sandwich, it's usually from Wendy's.
Okay.
And it's a little bit cheaper.
The spicy chicken from Chick-fil-A, though, man, that's a magical sandwich.
You get what you pay for there, yeah.
That's actually real chicken.
Nah.
Hey-o.
Now,
they have them in the back.
Dallas H. I don't think this is the same Dallas. Different Dallas.
That's Dallas Langley. That's got to be Dallas L.
Yeah. So Dallas H on our Twitter page, she posted, "Not to be that person, but Chick-fil-A is overrated." So I don't know how they did you wrong, but hopefully your opinion will change at some point, because I don't know, but I don't.
It is good.
It is very good.
You said Dallas H?
Yes.
I have a cousin named Dallas, and her last name starts with an H. If that's her, I'm gonna have a word with her.
Dallas Huxell is her name.
Totally my cousin. We're having real problems here now. Dallas, I'm coming for you.
Oh. Before we get to our number 1, well, at least Patrick and I's number 1, since Ronnie has already given his away, which is fine. But the Channel Surfing Podcast mentions that their favorite fast food restaurant is McDonald's. However, they don't care for the employees, though, whatsoever. Yeah, it's a crapshoot with McDonald's sometimes. You can tell they don't want to be there at all. And they mentioned that their least favorite fast food restaurant is Burger King. Don't like the burgers at all. So Patrick, they're with you on that one.
Oh, we're friends already.
Yep. Ken L. also on Twitter posts that Five Guys and Chick-Fil-A are tied for best fast food.
Five Guys.
I hate the rental process that is Taco Bell. Not really sure what he means by that, but and I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed goes to Subway in how prices have increased and quality has significantly dropped. And then Dopalicious, Mr. Mike Doherty, posted on our Twitter page as well. This is interesting. Who has stories of using the other gender's bathroom I'm assuming at a fast food restaurant? No one? Just me?
So, now I've never done that in a fast food restaurant, but I've done that at a gas station.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where, like, I have got to go. The men's there's a line and there's no one in the women's, so I had to go. And I walked out and I got a stare from one of the women that was waiting. I was like, well, I had to go. I am so sorry.
Yeah, I did that in Denver International Airport. I walked in, didn't even realize it was the women's room. I just went into the bathroom, did my thing. When I came out of the stall, there is a lady walking right in, and she's just kind of staring at me, and I'm like, oh no.
Where am I?
And so I immediately washed my hands and just walked out. And I looked behind me and I saw the women's sign. I was like, oh crap. Well, too late now. But yeah, I don't think I've ever done that at a fast food restaurant. Just I have done it, just not at a fast food restaurant. Ronnie, have you ever had a situation like that?
I have never done that before.
Consider yourself blessed, sir. Yeah, he goes on to say it was before 7 a.m. in college on the way to a campus crusade conference. The old lady's face on the way out was priceless. Also, does anything top Chick-fil-A's perfect biscuit? I will say their chicken biscuits are incredible. Absolutely. I cannot disagree there. All right, so Patrick, your number one.
My number one fast food restaurant is Long John's Silver's.
Good Lord.
You have the worst list.
Oh, man. Their food is so greasy. It is so awesome.
I don't even know how they could even possibly pass off for calling their food seafood, but okay.
Now I don't get their seafood. I get their chicken. Their chicken is amazing. And one of the things is they put them in that like little cardboard box, and they throw that chicken in there and their fries and their hush puppies. And at the bottom of the box is just a bunch of crunchy, like batter at the bottom, and it's just like in balls. And that is one of my favorite parts, is just like grabbing a handful of that and just chomping on that. Oh my gosh. My sister and I, so she loves it as well. And whenever we're like hanging out and we want to go get something to eat, we go to Long John Silver's. We are so white trash. Is that white trash kind of food?
You're tap dancing over it, yeah.
I mean, if that's your fancy night out, then yes.
It's the bottom of the barrel fast food, but I love the bottom of the barrel.
Fast food indulgence.
Now, when we were talking about customer service, yeah, their customer service sucks as well.
Absolutely.
It's like, it's not really fast food because you're waiting in line for 10 minutes before someone says, welcome to Long John Silver's. But yeah, that's my number one. I know it's not anyone else's number one. That's a reason why there's not a lot of them anymore.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Well, I will continue to pray for you. I feel like I've said that a lot, and I will.
Which is funny because I love fast food and I eat it a lot.
Yeah.
And which I have been lucky with my metabolism because I I do not gain weight at all.
I was gonna say you're skinny as a rail.
Yeah.
That's impressive. All right, my number one, and it's kind of edged out in front of Chick-fil-A in recent years, is a little place called Chipotle. I absolutely love the food there. It's for the most part very healthy food. Their ingredients are
you can make it healthy.
Yeah, their ingredients are fresh. They always taste great. I love the atmosphere there, and I've gotten into that kind of Tex-Mex Southwestern type food in recent years, and I don't know if you guys have seen that. Those you know what Vine videos are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. So there's like these little short 6-second videos on a service used to be called Vine, and there's this one little video of this like. He has to be like a 4-year-old kid, and he's basically doing an impression of like a stereotypical basic white girl, and he goes, "Oh my God, Chipotle is my life. I love Chipotle," and that's me.
That's a pretty good one.
I absolutely love Chipotle. I love the taste, love the atmosphere, and plus it for the most part passes off as healthy food. So I love getting it. My coworkers at work, I had gotten it so much and they knew that I liked it that for Christmas they actually bought me a Chipotle gift card.
Nice.
Which was awesome. Shout outs to my coworkers. I'd say.
So what do you get there? Do you get like the bowl? Do you get a burrito?
I get the burrito bowl. Basically, I always get the same thing because I am a man of simple taste. I typically get a chicken bowl with brown rice, pinto beans, and then I'm trying to think what else. There's corn salsa. There's cheese, sour cream, lettuce. And I think that's about it. And, of course, chicken.
Yep.
So, yeah, I usually get the same thing every time. My wife actually likes there's a place in this area. I don't know. You guys have them up in that area. It's a place called Moe's Southwest Grill.
Yeah, I don't. We do, but I'm not sure where it is.
Okay. Yeah, it's the same sort of idea. She likes Moe's a lot better, but I like the taste of Chipotle more. So, yeah, that's definitely my number one, for sure. All right.
Nice.
Does anybody else have any other things about fast food eats?
I think that's it. That is it.
All right. I'm going to close our talk here with a comment from VP Barnaby Butters, or Bernabe. Shout out. So this is his comment. When I went to Germany, we were at the hotel, and there was this McDonald's about 10 blocks or so away. And a friend was like, I want a cheeseburger. So we started knocking on the team's rooms taking the order. It was back in 2004 or so, and they had a €1 menu. So that tells you where they were. They were in Europe. And not to mention he says Germany. But anyway, after he collected money and had a list from 15 to 20 people, he had a satchel of coins. Imagine a classic, like, fantasy-style sack that ties on top with a cord full of coins. I said to myself, I have to see this. So there we went, walking to McDonald's, and he goes to the counter, and in his best English/Spanish/German, says, Hey, Mora, I need burgers, Funzie burgers. And I probably totally butchered that. And we
spot on.
Yeah. Nailed it. We ended up buying about 50 to 60 euros worth of burgers and fries from the €1 menu, all paid in 1 to 2 euro coins from a little sack of coins. Of course, the girl at the counter freaked out, and the small restaurant crawled down to a very slow pace while making our order. They didn't accept the tip we wanted to leave, and there were some angry customers as they had to wait around 30 minutes. They gave us a box to carry the cheeseburgers back to the hotel. And that is the story of how the Mexican street hockey team had McDonald's for dinner on our second night during the World Cup at Germany. We lost the game the next day, probably unrelated.
Probably unrelated.
So
that reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where Kramer's trying to pay with pennies.
Oh gosh,
for like a pizza. Yeah. Ronnie, do you remember that
one?
one?
They wouldn't take the pennies.
He's walking around with the cargo pants and he's got full of pennies.
Good.
That was
night.
A good one.
Well, that will close off our talk on fast food for sure. Now, before I go ahead and close the episode here, I do have some music to share with you guys, and I had to do some homework on this because it's kind of difficult to find songs about fast food. So I did have to do a little bit of homework on this one, a little bit of digging. But as always, you can check out the Good Morning Guys morning playlist on Spotify and Apple Music. Thank you so much, Bernabe, for adding to that list. So the songs that I have selected for this week are Weird Al Yankovic's Trapped in the Drive-Thru. It's his parody of Trapped in the Closet. You know, R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet. It's hilarious to listen to. Fresh Prince's Parents Just Don't Understand, which I believe mentions McDonald's in it. And then, of course, if you've ever heard of Tim Hawkins, he's a comedian, Christian comedian. A lot of his stand-up comedy is centered around music. He likes to write little songs and parodies and stuff, and he does a parody of the Beatles song Yesterday, but he calls it Chick-Fil-A. And you need to listen to this song. I'm going to add it to the playlist, and I hope you enjoy. And I hope you get your good morning on with it, for sure.
Can I make an addition?
Yes, you can.
Can I make another Weird Al edition?
Let's do it.
How about Eat It?
All right. I respect that. We can do that.
That's where I thought you were going with Weird Al.
Well, I was shooting more for fast food. He kind of talks about food in general.
Okay.
I can add it, though.
Maybe
I'll
next
allow
time. All right.
I'll allow it for sure. Well, with that, that is all for this fast food-filled episode, and that is really hard to say. We would really appreciate it from you guys if you drop some love by giving us a positive but honest review and rating on iTunes, or the thing formerly known as iTunes pretty soon. I'm pretty sure they're calling it Apple Podcasts or whatever, or whatever podcast service you use that allows you to review. We are told that somehow it helps us reach a new audience, so certainly let your voice be heard. I think we're sitting at about 28 reviews on iTunes right now. So we've got to figure out some crazy stuff for Ronnie and pretty soon Patrick to do. So get us to 30 reviews so we can have both of those guys do something crazy. So certainly let your voice be heard. And if you've already done so, thank you so much for doing so. And as I think we've been told before, if you want to go the extra mile, grab your friend or family member's cell phone, find us on their podcasting service of choice, subscribe, and leave a rating. We would appreciate that. Also, remember, if you'd like to join in on future episodes or connect with us and our community, check out the show notes for our info. Check out our Discord server, which is a free-to-use messaging board app that's filled with a wide range of dad jokes and haikus and all sorts of other conversations. If Twitter is more your thing, our handle is @thegmg podcast. Or if you are feeling super adventurous, you can even call us at... Ronnie, what number is that?
What number is what?
Hold on a second. I'm getting a phone call from Lucas. Hold on a second. Hey, Lucas, how's it going? What's that? Oh, we're at the hotline? You're asking if we've done the hotline number yet? Are you asking if Ronnie did it? Oh, yeah, he totally blew it. Yeah, it's no surprise. So what's the number again? Okay, all right, thanks. Okay, bye. Okay, so the number there is 929-GMG, guys, as Lucas would like me to tell you.
Did he just call that number and you answered it live, or was that your cell phone?
That was my cell phone.
Oh. If he calls it, if somebody calls that number, are you going to answer it live?
Unfortunately, no. It goes directly to voicemail.
That doesn't sound very appealing.
But if you call in and leave a message and ask a question, you can join us on the show. We will place your message in the show itself. So there's the appealing part.
If it's good.
Yes, if it's good. So beyond that, talk at you again next week on podcast services around the globe. So Pat, Ronnie, and also you, our friends and family that also happen to be our listeners, go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, work, and game.
1, 2, 3, 4.
One, two, three. Mark. Good morning, my brothers and... Oh, man. And guys, I'm going to be honest, I don't feel very good. I think I'm going to leave it just to you guys this week to talk about fast food. I mean, let's be honest. In Brazil, we have McDonald's, which my kids love, Burger King, Habib's. That's a fast food place that's Arabic food, which none of you other than me and our 2 Brazilian listeners would know what that is. Yeah, I think it's best to just leave it to you guys, so thanks for trying anyways. I'm sick anyways, if you can't tell by my deep, beautiful voice. Yeah. I don't know what else to say other than now I've been in the U.S. for a week, and I've probably gained about 20 pounds eating Reuben sandwiches from Arby's, which I love, and getting Chick-Fil-A from Chick-Fil-A. That didn't make any sense. I think it's the Dayquil or NyQuil talking. I better stop it. All right. Y'all have a good morning. Get your good morning or something. Okay, bye.